Hello, and welcome to the last part of opponent process. In this particular part, we'll be talking about eating behavior. As you can see on the screen, these things have to do with the brain, the stomach and the small intestine, and the blood itself. Eating is an animal behavior, but in this particular case, we're talking about human behavior. So as you can see, we have Bob back again, the infamous person who was afraid of spiders. Inside of Bob's head is his brain. And inside the core of the brain is the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is not just one part. It's actually a couple of different parts, but the two that we'll be talking about today, or in this particular part, is the lateral and the ventromedial hypothalamus. The lateral hypothalamus is what starts eating behavior. It's the thing that makes you understand that you are hungry. The hypothalamus itself, as an organ, monitors levels in the blood. Levels of what? Levels of hormone, levels of blood glucose, and other things. But in particular, the lateral hypothalamus is what starts eating behavior. And primarily it's set off by low glucose levels in the blood. The ventromedial is actually what stops eating behavior. A chemical called CCK, which we'll talk about in a moment, is the chemical that signals to the hypothalamus that you are full, really full. Now we're not talking about appetite. This is important. Appetite is your desire to eat. We're not talking about desire to eat. We're actually talking about if you don't eat, you're going to pass out, or you may feel sick. But CCK is the chemical that is released into the bloodstream. It actually takes about 20 minutes or so for CCK to get to the brain. Hence, your stomach could be full, but you wouldn't necessarily know it. Now, I don't mean full like to the point where it's going to break, but full to where you don't need to eat anymore. So when you do eat, you should eat slowly. So here Bob realizes that he needs food. He doesn't feel well. He maybe feels a little tired. His stomach may be growling. He may feel a little dizzy or lightheaded. Here is the organ that is the repository for your food. Now what's important is, and I think I wrote this, is digestion starts with the mouth. You mechanically break down food in your mouth. It is chemically broken down here in the stomach. So once it's in the stomach, you can see this is the custom crushed velvet stomach. Inside the stomach, the breakdown of food continues. You have stomach acid. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. That during times of extreme stress or hunger, that the stomach, which is a muscular organ, actually starts to contract and sort of move. Now, just because your stomach is growling does not mean necessarily that you're hungry. It could actually be just that the stomach is moving, and we don't really know all the reasons, all the conditions under which the stomach does contract, but that you don't have to be hungry in order to hear your stomach moving. But when you are hungry, the stomach does move. This kind of shows a stress reaction where the stomach acid is rising and the stomach is moving also. So, Bob is hungry. He realizes he needs to eat food. Donuts. All right, I hope this isn't during the lunch period. So, the stomach. The stomach is about the size of your fist, or approximately. It's pretty small, and the amount of food that the average person eats will stretch the stomach so that it's a little larger than that fist size. When it starts to stretch, and when sugars begin to be sensed by I think it's called the duodenum, I can't remember, but the first couple inches of the small intestine Those two things, the stretching and the sensing of sugars in the small intestine, release CCK, which is at the bottom. You don't have to know the whole word. I'm only going to refer to it as CCK, both here in this video and on the test. CCK then goes, the problem is that it doesn't just go from the stomach and then like from some nerve impulse goes directly to the brain. It doesn't work like that. It actually goes from the stomach into the bloodstream, and then it's called a systemic. It has to go all over the whole body, and eventually it gets to the brain. But it takes about 20 minutes for that to happen. So, opponent process deals with eating behavior because you cannot be hungry and satisfied at the same time. You cannot feel full and feel hungry at the same time. However, again, this does not have to do with appetite. Appetite is your desire to eat. You may not feel hungry, but you may look at something, and then decide, ooh, one of those would feel so nice. I would gladly pay you Tuesday for a donut today. All right, so then what happens is that you feel full and CCK, after CCK has been released. And I think that's about it. This is actually the shortest video of all three. But opponent process, if you have any questions about these, you can email me at the high school website, or you can talk to me in class. Thank you, and I hope these were informative.